Hey, one more thing before you go. Fall is in the air. And you know what that
Yes.
means. It's time to cozy up with your favorite blanket, a warm cup of tea, and the best TV shows of the season. Are you excited?
Yes. I'm very excited for fall in general.
I'm excited. I'm your host, Michael Hurst. I'm here with my lovely wife and co host, Diane.
Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday.
And we're back to guide you through the most exciting premieres and return favorites of fall 2024. And this week, we're diving into shows that have us glued to the screens. They're some of our favorites. We've talked about them in the past, and there's some new ones thrown into here that we'll
Mhm.
kind of touch upon, but we'll give you a better in depth review the deeper we get into them. So
Yes.
stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hey, Diane,
Hello, Michael.
how the heck are you? It's like I haven't seen you forever and a day.
Yeah, we never see each other ever.
No, I think it was just just when you helped me with my earbuds, but
Yeah.
my monitors
Yeah. And the lighting and, everything.
seem so far away.
Hmm.
So I can't wait to get involved with this because obviously, as you all know, we are like TV fanatics. We love if we could sit here 50 hours a week and watch TV and
And make a living.
movies and make a living at it, we would
Oh,
absolutely.
100%. I
So
turn in my resignation tomorrow.
yeah, if somebody out there wants to pay us like a lot of money just to sit around and watch TV and tell you all about it. Hey, we're
Yeah.
here.
Yep.
We're here.
Please
Bring it.
hire us.
Call my agent. My agent happens to be named Michael, so we have the same agent, but don't
Hmm.
confuse that with anything. You will be talking to my agent, who will handle all
Right.
the deals, but then you get us,
That's
right?
right. Yep.
Well, it's going to be an interesting show. Are you ready to get started?
Yes.
I am excited for this season of TV.
Yeah.
I am. I am.
There's, some of ours went away, but we're getting through.
We're getting through it.
Yeah.
But first, I have a quick joke. Would you like a
Oh,
joke?
okay. Sure. Let's
Yeah, look, I'm
hear a
taking
joke.
this from kind of like one of our other favorite shows, Somebody Feed Phil.
Yes.
Right, right. Throws a joke in
Yes.
every once in a while.
Yes, he
Well, this
does.
one, this one relates.
Okay.
Why did the Scarecrow win an award?
I don't know. Why did the Scarecrow win an award?
Because he was outstanding in his field.
Bada bomb.
So welcome,
Okay.
welcome to one more thing before you go over the teacup
Yeah.
Sunday. See.
Yeah. There you go.
Hey, we have to talk about this because it's one of our favorite news shows, actually. First up is High Potential. We're not going to go into real big detail, I think, because, in several of these, actually, we may not go into big detail, especially on the new ones. We want to give it a few episodes before we really kind of delve into whether or not we really like it or whether or not we recommend it or whether we don't recommend it.
Yeah. But this
But
one we did like right away.
right
Right
away.
away. Yeah.
But obviously, we've not known personally. I wish we could just call
No.
her up and say, "Hey, you want to come on the
I
show?"
know. She'd be so
Um,
much fun to be friends with.
she would be, and her husband. So it's
Yeah.
kind of one of those
Yeah.
things. But
Hmm.
we do know that we have loved her for a long time and everything that she's done, and so it was easy to get hooked on High Potential.
Yes.
It's a
And
brand new
her name
series.
is.
Yeah, it's a brand new series on ABC, and kind of we're thrilled to see her in a new
Well,
show.
we should probably mention her name because we haven't mentioned her name yet.
Oh yeah.
That's what I was saying. Her name is.
And Diane, it's your stage.
Her name is Caitlin Olsen. Yes, and she was in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So a lot of people would probably know her from that. But
And we signed her in a couple other things as well. They had that one
oh yeah,
show,
she used to be the Mick. I
the Mick.
loved the
She was on
Mick.
the Mick, and they canceled the
So
Mick.
good.
Damn
They
them!
canceled the Mick. Yeah.
But that's okay because it made room for this one,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I'm glad she's back.
Yeah, and I loved her in the Mick, but I really like her in this one.
Yeah, I guess I kind of like her character a little more in this one, but I love the Meg. I just thought she was great. But
Me too.
yeah, so I'm just glad she's back. I'm glad to watch her because she's great. She's
And,
so
f-
funny.
and for the record, I was thinking of Caitlin Olsen in my head. So does that count?
Well, that's kind of how it goes anymore with you.
It's
You
in my
talk in your
head.
head and
Hey,
you think I hear it.
well, I start conversations in the middle because I figured you already heard the first part in my
Hmm.
head, so it's okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, we're thrilled to see this. She plays a character named Morgan. She's a genius, like an absolute genius. She has a photographic memory. She's got a unique ability to come in with facts and uh,
Details.
details that others wouldn't normally see, but she's OCD with certain things. And it's we'll compare it to this other show, of course, here in a few minutes. But
Yep.
in reality, I think that she ends up solving crimes. The premiere, if you haven't already seen it, you really need to see it. The premiere kind of starts it off into a very unique approach of her jumping into solving crimes.
Hmm.
She throws
Hmm.
the police department in chaos, basically. The LAPD
Yeah,
kind of
she
goes,
does.
"What the hell? Who messed
Yeah.
with my board?" And
Yeah.
you know, you find out
Yeah.
later that it was her, and she does this in the most unconventional ways,
Hmm.
but it's also endearing.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
like the way that they got immediately into um, what she's about. Like they didn't waste any time.
they
They
did.
showed how she got into it. I mean, it wasn't like there's so much that happens even in the first episode
Well,
that to
and they
set up
don't.
the show.
It's not just what she does. You also get into her personality, and you get to see,
Hmm.
and realistic. I think she's brought personalities through. I think a lot of this is her own. Obviously, her own personality shines through in this,
Hmm.
but it comes from
Hmm.
some of her other characters as well. And I think it's kind of evolved into Morgan.
Yeah.
And I think it was easy for us to kind of accept that character the way it is because of the our viewing relationship with her from our
Hmm.
past.
Hmm.
I think I'm sure that helped us immensely. It wasn't like bringing a new character type thing.
Right.
So I think that it works. And the dynamics. There's a couple other characters in there that when you go in and watch this, if you haven't done it yet, when you go in and watch, you'll find there's a couple other characters in here that literally you've seen on other shows as well, and you've
Hmm.
known them throughout the years. So it
Yeah.
was easy to. Yeah, I mean, they go way back as far as Scrubs, actually, which was
Hmm.
how long was
Hmm.
Scrubs ago?
Oh
15
gosh.
years,
I would say 15
maybe
years, but I could be wrong.
somewhere
Yeah.
thereabouts, 15, 20 years
Yeah.
ago.
But I think the whole cast is really great.
Yeah,
You know,
the
they're
dynamics.
really really good together. Yeah.
They melded it right. A lot of times when you start a new show, you get a pilot in, and you've got a new show, and they're trying to build rapport.
Hmm.
As you all know, it's one of those things where they kind of have to. You have to build the chemistry,
Hmm.
and you have to
They
build the
they
rapport and the chemistry. But they
they had it right off.
fell right into it,
Hmm.
and you kind of cheer for them. You feel for them. You have empathy. You see what's kind of happening. And again, it might be because we're familiar with pretty much all the characters that are in here, the
Hmm.
prime characters,
Hmm.
in here, that it resonates with us easier because
We've
we've
seen
watched,
them in so many
yeah,
other things.
and
Hmm.
things that we loved. So it wasn't like
Yeah.
oh, I'm bringing that person back. Holy shit, that's not going to work. Oh, I
Mm.
said shit.
Oh no.
Whoops. Um, that was the PG version of the analysis.
Yeah.
um,
Mm.
so yeah, it's one of those things. I think that Caitlin Olsen is absolutely killing it, and
Yeah.
it I think it's something that's worth jumping into. Like I said, we're not going to give a lot away other than we just gave you because you really we want to give a review of it, and we'll do that once we watch a few more episodes because I think we really have to
Hmm.
start to be honest because we have the recognition and the familiarity with the individuals that are in this series. I think
Hmm.
it's only fair to give it a little bit longer to make sure that it's moving the way that we feel that it should be moving. And,
Yeah, I think every episode's gotten better and better. So
yeah, it's only
I think
been
it's got
three.
legs. Yeah, I think it's got
Yeah,
legs for sure, and it's going to keep going.
it'll
We
keep
might have
going.
watched four. Do we see four?
I don't think so. I think we've only seen three
Oh,
because there was a little
okay.
gap in there because of football or something.
Mm,
Remember,
yeah.
it went episode one and then two, and then there was a gap and then three, kind of a
Well,
thing.
they also showed the first episode a lot. Like they repeated it a few different times over a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, that too.
so
And realistically, here's the deal. Look, and I this is my personal opinion,
mhm,
okay? Because we'll get into this here in a few minutes here, but being NCIS fans and watching several of our shows go away on CBS, uh, not just with NCIS, but the Hawaii Five O went away.
no.
Not
Oh,
Hawaii
yeah, I
Five O.
guess it did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it did.
Well, it did a couple years ago.
Yeah, Magnum PI went
Yeah.
away, and
Hmm.
then more recently, NCIS Hawaii went away.
Hmm.
Yeah, then they took
So
Los
sad.
Angeles away, and then
Mm,
So
mm,
Help Me
mm,
Todd.
mm.
What is So Help Me Todd on?
Huh?
What is So
So
Help
Help
Me
Me
Todd?
Todd is on
Oh,
CBS.
CBS. They took that one
Yeah.
away.
CBS just.
Yeah, they went ballistic on this kind of on this. It's a
Hmm.
bunch of crap, actually. So they
Yeah,
replaced it with a show called Elsbeth, and I gave it a chance. I watched a
I
couple of
didn't.
episodes with it just to give it a chance to be fair, and they
Yeah.
replaced one of our shows, possibly a couple of them, with this. Um, because they also replaced one with NCIS Sydney, which we'll talk about later. And they have a character similar to what Caitlin Olsen's playing in this one, where
Hmm.
Elsbeth is some quirky little crime solver that reminds me of a female version of Monk,
Hmm.
kind of a
Yeah,
thing.
and so does Caitlin
But
Olsen's
so is
character.
Caitlin Olsen. But
Yeah, it's very reminiscent.
yeah, but I
Hmm.
think that the quirkiness that Caitlin Olsen brings to high potential compared to what they tried to squeeze into Elsbeth, which I have heard it was a pet project of somebody on CBS, and the reason that they squeezed it in there because it was a pet project. And if anybody from CBS wants to come out and dispute that, let me
Hmm.
know that it wasn't a pet project. I mean, I've read
Hmm.
it in numerous publications, Hollywood publications, that it was a pet project
Hmm.
and it got pushed in there.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I wouldn't waste my time on Elsbeth.
I, I see
And I'm a
things,
Monk
I
fan.
see, right, right. Well, I think that, like, I honestly, I didn't give it a chance. I was pissed. I was pissed that they took off So Help Me Todd. I still am. And there's a lot of people that still are. There's a So Help Me Todd fan page on Facebook, and
Yeah,
people are constantly on there talking about, a few of them have said that they did go ahead and give Elspeth a chance and they like it. There are a few of them that said that. But I
yeah,
think the majority are like, nope, bring back Todd. It's
yep.
not it's not worth it to have gotten rid of Todd to bring this show on.
Nope, not at
That's
all.
what I've that's what I've been reading. I don't know.
Well,
I
and
just miss Todd.
to me, the difference I see between Elsbeth on CBS and then I see in High Potential on ABC is that Elsbeth was kind of annoying. She kind of interjected herself right into something, and the chemistry and the characters wasn't very good. And at least in the couple episodes that I watched, and I realized I
Hmm.
probably should have given it more of an opportunity. But I was like you, I was a little upset about the facts that they canceled some of the other shows they shouldn't have
Hmm.
canceled that had
Right.
high ratings.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean it's just good. I think that if you're going to choose one, give them both a chance. I mean, look, I'm all about balance. I'm all about
Yeah.
equal opportunity.
Hmm.
So you give her a choice. If you're watching Elsbeth, check out High Potential and see which one you like better and stick with that
Hmm.
one because I think that you'll find that High Potential has much more potential,
Hmm.
you know,
And
to
and
to be the
somebody out
winner.
there might like Elsbeth better. I mean,
True,
you be you, whatever.
exactly.
You know,
But
just
if you haven't
it's
watched it,
good.
please start watching it. And if you are
High
watching it,
potential.
and I say this over and over again, we're on Instagram before you go pod, and we're on blah blah blah. We're on YouTube, And I have an email, Michael, at one more thing before you
Hmm.
go.com. You know, if you have any input that you want to put in there, feel free to comment. I'll be happy to put it on the
Yeah.
show next time we talk. I'll read it out loud. I'll give you your 15 minutes,
Hmm.
or 10 minutes. We can't really give you 15 minutes, but we'll give you a portion of that, 7 minutes maybe, that we can, dedicate to your observations. But yeah.
Hmm.
But anyway,
Yep.
we got so many more we got to talk about.
Yeah.
Um, this one you're happy about, and I'm kind of stuck on it a little bit now. I didn't used to be, but now I'm kind of going. Well, maybe I got vested a little bit. They did the Golden Bachelor, and I really wasn't into the Golden Bachelor. I thought it was
No, you
just
didn't. You didn't watch that. And I want to explain. So I started watching Golden Bachelor last season. It was the first season of the Goldens. Um, we have not watched the Bachelor or Bachelorette series for years. We stopped
many,
watching
many years.
those many years ago. Um, and this is just our opinion, but I personally, I got tired of seeing, well, obviously people younger than us, but it's all fighting and crying and it's just being very catty with each other. And I
Egos.
just, what, it's just,
Yeah.
I don't need that in my life, right? That's not entertaining to me. I understand why it's entertaining to other people. It wasn't entertaining to me. So then when they said, oh, they're going to do a golden version of an older generation, I thought, ooh, this is interesting, because how are they going to do that? I can't imagine people acting that way in this generation. And the Golden Bachelor, um, I got hooked right away. They're very hookable shows. I mean, I'm just saying. Um, and there was actually a woman that was kind of catty, with some other people, but
Well,
it wasn't to the
there was two or three of
huh?
them. There was two or three of them.
I think she was the main instigator of the cattiness, though. But anyway, it, it wasn't nearly to the extent that the younger generation version was. So I was okay with it. I was like, okay, I can handle a little bit of this. Um, and one of the bachelorettes on Golden Bachelor, I loved so much, and she had to go in the middle of it because she had to go back, and there was an emergency with her daughter.
Yeah.
um, Her daughter was giving birth and there was an emergency, and so she left the show, and I was like, oh, she's my favorite, really, she's like my absolute favorite. And in my head I was like, man, if they do a Golden Bachelorette, they need Joan, and they did it, and I'm just so happy. I screamed, when I saw the first commercial for it. I was like, Michael,
Yep.
it's Joan, and he's like, what? Who?
Well, I
And I'm
mean,
like,
I
oh,
knew who
never
you were
mind.
talking about because I
Yeah, I guess
had watched a few
you saw
episodes
enough
of
of
it,
it.
and
Yeah,
and the
and
guy that
well,
was
and
the
I told you,
The guy that was the
I
Golden Bachelor, I couldn't get into it because some of those, to me, some of those guys on there were kind of really over dramatic in the beginning, and of course, ABC probably had them do that. They probably
well,
pushed upon them to do that
you mean last season?
for Golden Bachelor.
Bachelor. Right. So there was only one bachelor.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But the guys, I think, were all they were kind of part of. I just think I just couldn't get into it. And in fact, I'm sure everybody's watched that one already. Anyways, we're not giving anything
Hmm.
away.
Mm-mm.
The guy that won, and the
No, no, no.
woman.
He was the only bachelor. There was no guys. It was just him. That's what I think you're confused about. It was just him
No,
with
oh
all the
yeah, what
women.
I'm saying is the woman that won. Sorry,
Right,
the
right,
woman
right.
that won. Forgive me.
Hmm.
That was my brain lapse there.
Okay.
They That's because I'm in the golden era myself. See the silver beard and the silver hair and the
Yes.
it matches my white shirt kind of.
Kind of.
Um, the woman that won that um, we didn't want her to win anyway,
No,
but after they have this humongous expensive wedding, they got
that we
divorced
didn't
anyway.
watch. We
I got
didn't watch.
divorced anyway,
Yeah, we did.
and it's just kind of screwy. So anyway,
Yeah.
but obviously you know what we're talking about right now because Diane mentioned it is the Golden Bachelorette. Joan,
Yay.
yeah, Joan Vassos. She's on a quest for
Yeah.
love, and we can't wait to see which charming bachelor will win her heart. It's kind of one of
Yeah.
those things that I I wasn't going to get hooked. And then I kind of
I made
went,
you watch.
I sat down and started watching a little bit and
They're
a little bit
so
more.
hookable. I mean,
Well,
you just can't look away. It's just,
unfortunately, I think part of it, well, I think part of it is because, look, I want to see, everybody knows that I wish I was 29, but I'm obviously not 29.
no.
So, I think it was a lot of these guys are my age.
Hmm.
So I thought, well, I kind of rooting for these guys that were my age, and
Hmm.
they've had relationships that they lost in one form or another, whether or not somebody passed away or they got
Yeah.
divorced or whatever the case may be. Most of them lost
Yeah.
their spouse through death, and
Hmm.
they're there. They
Yeah.
were honestly looking for a new start, which I think maybe that kind of got me a little hooked. Plus,
Hmm.
she's really kind of, I mean, she's a nice lady.
Hmm. And
And
she's
she wasn't really
beautiful.
fake, and she wasn't,
No.
you don't see this, "Oh, look at me, look at me, look at me. I'm only here on TV to
No.
show off myself,"
Mm-mm.
and which is what irritated me on The Bachelor because you saw most of them were,
Hmm.
you know, turn the wind fan on so my hair can blow in the wind, and
Hmm.
you
I don't
know,
know. There was a few, maybe. Yeah. I think what I loved about it, and I was so excited for this season, is that this generation of the contestants, they actually became really, really close friends and very supportive of one another. And I
of
just
each other.
loved it.
Yeah,
It's so different from the
the
other
other
part
stuff.
of yeah, the younger generation. Um, so different, and I think it's just so much more substantive.
Well, and
Um, it's still weird. It's still weird because when you think about it, back in the day, one person dating that many people was not good. It
it
was
wasn't
looked
good at all.
very, very bad upon. But here we are,
And
and
that might be why I didn't like The Bachelorette in the first place because I mean, in fact, in the season of The Bachelorette, there's a French guy there that he,
the Golden Bachelorette, right?
in the Golden Bachelorette, pardon me,
Hmm.
and he brings up the essence of the group date stuff, and that he feels very awkward at a group date, and I understand that, you
Because
know,
he's more about the one-on-one connection.
exactly.
Hmm.
So and I think that that's what bothered me about all the other ones because you're kind of going, you guys are going on group dates, and you're doing it. It was just weird for me. In fact, I think the last time I was thinking about this, and the because I saw a teaser for something, but the
Hmm.
last I think Bachelor um, was the Bachelorette or the Bachelor that we watched was Trista and Ryan.
I don't think it wasn't the last one. I think that was the
And I'm
first
saying,
season.
no, I'm saying that's no, that wasn't the first season. That's the
Okay,
last one
well,
we watched.
I think we watched some after that, but not very many. We
I
didn't
don't
stick
believe.
with it very long.
Yeah, I don't believe it was that long after that because,
Right.
and Tristan Ryan is actually the longest. I think the longest one that's they're still together.
Hmm.
He's a firefighter in Aspen, and
Hmm.
they are still together. And I
Hmm.
saw an article that said that they've had moments where they had to go through counseling and some other things,
Yeah.
but they're
Who
still
doesn't?
together. Whereas
Yeah.
the majority of the other ones that you see, within a matter of months, they go through these elaborate weddings and everything else. In a
Hmm.
matter of months, they're broken up, and then you see
Yeah.
one of them go on and they're the finding somebody else new, kind of a thing.
Hmm.
That's what I didn't
Yeah.
like about this. But this one's really cool. I think that
Yeah.
the guys are again. There's a few of them that are kind of cheesy, and you
They're
kind
gone
of
now. They're
yeah,
gone by now.
you kind
But
of go, what the hell?
but the same thing happened with the guys, which I was a little bit shocked about. And maybe it's I shouldn't be so sexist about it, but um, where the women last season became great friends and very supportive of one another. I really didn't expect that with the guys. And the guys are almost more supportive of one another and
Yeah,
very close friends. And when they don't get the rose and they're leaving, the other guys that are staying come out and they're like hugging, and you know that these people are going to stay connected as friends the rest of
yeah,
their lives. It's awesome.
which is cool.
I just
And
love it so much.
a lot of those guys are living they're alone. They're living alone
Yes,
now.
yes.
So I
And
think
now
what
they
it
have these
is
friends.
exactly, and so they're
Yeah.
kind of going. I found this camaraderie, and I found this
It's so
this
nice.
friendship and stuff that is going to last for a while. And,
Yeah. It makes me
obviously
cry.
it's a little awkward in a few things, but it also has some laughs and so forth.
Yeah. Oh
So,
yeah. There's a lot of laughs.
but yeah, if you haven't watched it, give it a try and
Yeah.
check it
It's
out
fun.
because it's actually, it's not just a bunch of old geezers, running around or falling and help me, I can't get up type
Right.
thing.
No. They have a lot of fun.
It's
Yeah.
they have a lot of fun. It's doing some good
Hmm.
stuff. So yeah, check it out. I would check it out.
Yeah. And now just keep in mind they're 2-hour episodes. I kind of forgot that when we started watching it one night and it was like
We were up till
9:30,
midnight.
10 o'clock. And yeah, like, oops, I forgot.
Yeah, but we couldn't. We had to watch to the
You
till
have to
the
watch to the end. You
towards
just
the
can't.
end.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I move on. And Ghost. Ghost is back. Finally,
Ghosts.
Ghost. Ghost is back. If you guys haven't watched Ghost, I
Yay.
think we've done it. Have we? We've done a
I
show
think so.
on
We did.
Ghost.
I think we did. I feel like we did.
Yeah, Ghost
I'd
is
be
on.
shocked if we didn't.
It's on CBS, and I'm glad that they've kept it. The fact that
Yes.
it is an adaptation, just a brief thing. It's an adaptation of a British show called Ghost, where so people end up inheriting a property from a relative that died, and they on both sides of the pond. Neither one of them knew that that relative even existed, but they were the last living relative that we were able to connect and say, "Hey, you're the last living relative." Their will says it goes to the last living relative, so you're it.
Yeah.
And you go in, and they have centuries of ghosts that are
Mm.
residing in the home, and you see one individual that ends up falling, and she gets a bump on her head, and next thing you know, she can see all the ghosts.
And
So
communicate with them fully. Yeah.
yeah, so basically, it's her and her husband. They turn the house into a B&B, and it's just haunted as ever, and
Yeah.
it's just a lot of fun. It's
That's
you
so
get to
good.
know a group from like the Revolutionary War from India. Well, they go all the way back, Native Americans
And,
to Vikings.
Vikings.
Yeah,
Vikings. Yeah. I think he
Vikings.
was the first one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then you got the
Yeah.
50s, you got the 60s, you got the 70s, you got the 80s.
Hmm.
All the way up through. You got the Revolutionary War. You got a little bit of everybody poking in there, and it's a little bit of things from above, things from below. You know, you got
Hmm.
yeah, it's really fun. It's a lot of fun.
It's so good. It's a
Yeah,
lot of
it's
fun.
really really good. Super guys, Sam and Jay, they run this B&B, and they kind of interact with the ghost. Sam sees them, Jay doesn't, so
Yeah.
that creates conflict. Jay is a chef; he's a cook,
Hmm.
and so when he's cooking meals and everything else, they want Jay to cook these meals because these ghosts can't eat them,
No, they can
but they
smell
can
them.
smell them. So it's like,
Hmm.
oh, we want to smell this. Oh, cook this, cook that, cook this. Have him cook this or have him cook that so we can smell the food.
I just wish they do sometime, even if it's only a few episodes or something. Jay has got to be able to see these ghosts.
Well,
I mean, he's actually become friends with a few of them, like pretty good friends
yeah,
with one of them, through Sam, and it's like I just want him to be able to really communicate with them. That's the
well,
only thing.
his body was taken over by one in one of the, I think season two,
Season, oh, maybe even be a season one, but I don't
one or
remember for
two.
sure.
His body was
Hmm.
taken over by one, so he kind of has an understanding.
Yeah,
But they came
it
back, and
it wasn't very long.
there's only been one episode up, so if you haven't had a chance to jump into it, if you forgot about it, because here's the deal: I have not been seeing a lot of commercials or any for any of these where they usually
Hmm.
promote the shows coming back and they promote them coming back. I really haven't seen a lot
Yeah,
of that this year. In fact, I forgot about some of them. Went, oh crap! Look at all this stuff I
yeah,
recorded. We didn't even know
yeah,
was on.
yeah.
So, but Ghost is on CBS, and here's the deal: I can't tell you what days they're on. We
I
just
keep
watch it.
we watch we watch so many things on
Oh
different
yeah.
channels, different streaming services that we. Yeah, I used to be able to be back in the day. I was a walking TV guide, and I could tell you exactly what
Oh, me too.
station, what day, but now there's just too many.
Not anymore.
Um, I'm not even going to try to guess when Ghost is on. I want to say Wednesdays, but I don't know.
I think so. I mean, I got a calendar.
Or
I can look it up here,
Thursdays.
but
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll look it up here in a few moments. Tracker.
Yay.
Love
Yeah.
Tracker. You
And
know,
you and Nicole got me into that. I actually haven't watched it from the beginning,
yeah,
but I do
our
love it.
youngest daughter and I really got into Tracker, and
Yeah.
you guys might know the start of that Justin Hartley. A lot of you are probably familiar with that because he was in Bad Moms
Moms
Christmas.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you might
Yeah.
recognize him from there. He was a firefighter and a stripper.
Yeah.
Um, so it kind of uh, he, it's interesting to watch him go from that character to this character.
Yeah.
And yeah, yeah, it's
He, he's fun to watch either way.
he is
I'll
definitely
just
eye
watch
candy
him.
for the girls, eye candy for the women.
Yes.
That's no
Yes.
doubt about that. But at the same
Nope.
time, Tracker is about a guy, Coulter Shaw. He's a survivalist, and basically um, he is I won't say he's not really a bounty. You can't call him a bounty hunter,
No.
but
Mm-mm.
what he
Mm-mm.
does is he goes after people, not people who are lost, people who are
He goes,
searching for
right.
somebody, people who are missing. So
Hmm.
he's a tracker in that regard. And what he does is try to get closure for these people, whether he solves the crime, where they went to, why they died, if they're dead, if they're alive,
Or finding them.
or if they're alive, he finds them.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
he calls himself a bounty hunter because they usually have a reward like a $30,000,
Hmm.
$20,000 reward, $50,000 reward, this kind of a thing. So he
Hmm.
calls it a bounty. So he calls himself a bounty hunter from that
Hmm.
perspective. So he's not catching bad guys.
Hmm.
Well,
Well,
in the
sometimes.
sense as you would think as a bounty hunter, where you're going after guys that
Right.
have jumped bail and bond and
Right.
things
It's
like
not
that.
like that.
But he does help catch bad guys in regard to kids that were kidnapped or somebody else that was
Hmm.
kidnapped or guys that may have killed somebody, but you get closure and he's giving people closure. It's a very
Hmm.
heartwarming. It is interesting. It is enthralling. It's
Hmm.
heartwarming. At the same time,
Hmm.
he's got his own background that keeps popping up and his
Yeah.
own network of individuals that are a family to him. But there's
Hmm.
secrets that come forth as to why he's doing what he's doing. And I think it's
Hmm.
a really good, it's also on CBS.
Hmm.
Yeah, we've been trashing CBS for getting rid of all these other programs, but some of
Well,
the,
I mean, I'm glad they were smart enough to keep a few of them, like
yes.
Ghost and Tracker. I mean, at least they were smart enough there.
And Tracker's
But
in its second season, so you have time to catch up if you haven't watched it.
yeah.
Go back and watch season one if you can. If you don't belong to Paramount Plus, you can find it on Paramount Plus, the whole first season, and then catch up with the second season. It just started. It's only been out,
And
I think, one
CBS.
or two
Yeah.
episodes now. And
Yeah.
Colter Shaw is he shows the human side of
Hmm.
anybody in this business because there are people that the only thing they're concerned about is maybe collecting the money. But
Hmm.
what you see is a human being here that has empathy, and he has not just not just the empathy, but he has heart, he has
Yeah.
understanding.
Hmm.
He's able to look at it from the perspective of the family has lost somebody, or the person has lost somebody, and or the
Hmm.
victim. From those perspectives, and you kind of get to root for him as he's going. And he's got a group of people on here that are brilliant. The cast
Yeah, they're
itself
fun.
is a brilliant cast, and they also have good
Hmm.
chemistry in regard to what's doing it. And
Hmm. Hmm.
um, Jared Pettit, uh, I can never pronounce his name correctly.
I
Oh,
can't help
Jason
you.
Ackles.
Sorry. Jason
Jensen
Ackles.
Ackles is on there. People would remember him
Hmm.
from Supernatural. He's his brother, and then
He's not on it every time though. Just a few
no,
of the episodes.
and
Yeah.
then he's got a sister on there that you guys will recognize from
Manifest.
Manifest. She's on there occasionally, not complete all the time. But you got to watch that
Hmm.
Tracker. Look for it.
Yes.
Look for it.
Hmm.
And here we're hyping CBS again. Here we
I know.
go
Well,
again. We just watched the premiere of Georgie and Mandy's first marriage.
yeah.
What'd you think of that?
Um, I thought it was good. It was kind of what I expected. Um, we're going to have to watch a few more episodes, obviously, before really having an idea of it. I was surprised because it's a spinoff of young Sheldon,
Young Sheldon.
which was not shot in front of a live audience. And I thought this was going to be the same, and then I heard the live audience, and it was kind of shocking. So it is in front of a live audience, which is interesting, you know. The father-in-law or his father-in-law in it, or her father in it, Will Sasso. Obviously,
Who we
he's
love,
good
Will
either
Sasso,
way.
yeah.
He can do anything. Um, I think it's good. I think it's touching. I think it's funny. Um, I really am hoping that it's not going to be like a one trick pony where they're just, they're fighting, they threaten to move out of the parents' house, the parents have to apologize. I mean, I'm just hoping because that's really all they did when they brought in her parents on young Sheldon. That's kind of what it was, is that she was fighting with her parents and then they had to apologize and then and that's what this first episode was. And I'm thinking, okay, we got to do something different here. So I'm really hoping it does do a little
It
different.
is Chuck Lorre, though. So
Yeah.
reality is Chuck Lorre, I think he's going to stay true to the characters to a good point. And we've always enjoyed Chuck Lorre's everything that he's
Yeah.
put out and everything he's done.
Hmm.
So I have faith in the fact that he can take this to where it needs to be. The characters themselves, we know Georgie from Young Sheldon, like you said. Mandy's played by a character that we have known forever and a day. Our kids grew up watching Emily Osment, so we grew up watching Emily Osment. So
Hmm.
we've seen her grow up basically from
Hmm.
a child to a young woman, and
She was
so
on Hannah Montana.
Hannah Montana, and
Hmm.
we've watched her in a few shows since then that
Yeah.
we really liked.
Yeah. That
Um,
was, the one where she
she was
was
a
really
college
smart
student, yeah.
and she was living with other college students. Anyway, that was I can't remember the name of it. It was really good, and I think they
Yeah.
canceled it after a season.
Yes, they did, unfortunately, or one or two seasons. I think it was two seasons they
Maybe two,
canceled.
maybe two. Hmm.
But yeah, so it's we're kind of hoping. And then she came on to Young Sheldon, and she really was able to dig into that character on there, and
Hmm.
she's kind of helped make Young Sheldon. At least towards the end of it, it was a nice addition to Young Sheldon,
Yeah.
and especially the whole dynamics of it. And basically, if any of you, I'm sure all of you have watched Young Sheldon.
Sorry.
So what you find is, Georgie and Mandy get married because she gets pregnant, and he was underage at the time, and lied to her, but
Hmm.
they make it work, and they end up getting married, and this is them, going off on their own because young Sheldon kind of reached its peak. It was the time for Sheldon to go off to college, and his dad died, and they needed to move into a different direction. So this is where that's
Yeah.
going. And so far, I mean, I've enjoyed it so far. We've only watched
Yeah.
one
I did
episode.
enjoy it, and I highly recommend anybody who was a young Sheldon fan, watch it. Definitely, give it a try.
And what
Um,
you also see the ups and downs of young parenthood,
yeah.
in people, and the fact that trying to both of them trying to prove themselves. We've all had
Hmm.
judgmental parents. You know,
Hmm.
I've spoken about it on across other podcasts from my own personal journey. Judgmental parents. You've had judgmental parents, and it's always
Hmm.
difficult to manage what you're doing when you have judgmental parents in regard to whether or not you're doing something right or wrong. Kind of a thing. And so
Or not good enough. I would not,
are not good
maybe not
enough.
right or wrong, but not good
They're
enough.
not good
Yeah.
enough. So I say we've only watched one episode, but I have high hopes for it. I really do. And we'll
I
come
hope
back.
so.
We'll do a real solid
Mhm.
review on it about the next 5 or 6 episodes to let you know what
I
we
guess
feel.
my intuition is telling me that I don't know. I don't know how much CBS is behind it. I hope they're behind it enough that they give it a shot.
I think they are.
But I have a hard time trusting CBS anymore.
After what they did to us, they ripped our
Mhm.
hearts out.
Several times
Like,
over.
yes. I feel like a warrior out on the field and I'm watching them
You
rip
did,
the hearts out of all my friends.
right?
Damn it.
I know.
So, which
That's how it feels.
speaking of judgmental parents, we just watched Lopez versus Lopez last night. This is
Yeah.
its third season.
I'll say third.
Yeah,
Might be
it
fourth, but I think it's
returns more
third.
family drama.
Hmm.
George
A
and Maya
comedy.
Lopez are
It's
back. It's George Lopez and his daughter. is Mayan and
Hmm.
their husband and wife, their father and daughter in real life. And
Yeah.
if you haven't seen the first season, or the second season, I think it's his third season because we
Mm.
watched the first two seasons, so I think it's his third season. Um, it's the complications of growing up with your parents and growing up with alcoholic parents and dysfunctional parents, divorced parents, and things like that. But they make comedy out of it.
Yeah.
And I'm a little weary going into this season because it's like, I just don't know if they've kind of run its run.
I don't feel like this episode was any better or worse than last season. Like you
Yeah,
always want the show to get a little better as it goes on, and I can't say that it really got better, but it didn't get any worse. It's very much the same. But I don't know if that's going to be good for them because,
there's too much more.
you
There's too
know,
much competition out there now. New things are coming in, and
yeah,
so I don't know. I mean, that's on ABC,
yeah.
so it
Hmm.
is. We're gonna
It's a cute show.
we'll judge it. We'll give another five or
Yeah.
six episodes and see because it's still. I think that there's a little kid on there that plays the son that
So
is
cute.
he's brilliant, and
Oh,
in the his father actually passed away. He was
I know, right?
a TikTok, a YouTube star with his dad for the longest
Hmm.
time before he got into TV, and he lost his father while he was doing this show in real
Last
life,
year.
and
Hmm.
he's really stood strong on that, and without hesitation, that the show's got to go on mentality was in this young man, and
He's definitely an old soul. I
yeah,
mean, man, this kid acts like he's been acting for 60 years. Like he's so good. His timing is impeccable for somebody his
it is
age.
for his age, and I think it comes from
Hmm.
working with his dad, the way they were doing on their
Hmm.
the way that they did it, but it's worth a shot. Give it a try, and then, like I said, we'll come
Hmm.
back, later, 6, 7, 8 episodes in. We'll come back doing a review on that one as well.
Hmm.
Um, and I like to, if I mean, I'm an NCIS fan, and I got you as an NCIS fan finally into it,
Hmm.
and that's where, but they took those away from you, Diane. You should be really, really mad at CBS because
I feel like it's my fault. I finally
they,
started watching NCIS and
they
getting
took it
into it, and then
away.
they take them
Sort of like when the
away. I'm
Broncos
sorry.
play. You watch the Broncos, they lose. You don't watch the Broncos and they win, kick butt. So every time I
Stop
asked you to
it.
watch NCIS, maybe I had to go, no, no, no.
Right?
NCIS is
Yeah.
on. Go in the other room.
That's
NCIS,
fine.
they returned for its 22nd season. I've been with them since the beginning.
I have
Love
not.
NCIS. And they left it on a cliffhanger last season with one of my favorite. They've changed some characters in this throughout. And the last few seasons, they really changed the team up quite a bit, and they came back with a really, really good one in the fact that the cliffhanger had a certain person that has become a favorite of the fans, of us long-term fans, in regard to
Hmm.
NCIS. And obviously the new people too that came into it later that
Hmm.
maybe didn't see it before then, but when Jessica Knight left NCIS team on a cliffhanger, um, they finally we didn't know what was going to happen because she was in a
Hmm.
relationship with the coroner,
Hmm.
and we weren't sure what was going to happen with that as well because Jimmy finally found peace because he lost his wife
Hmm.
a while back, and he finally found somebody that he had a relationship with. His kids had a relationship with, and all of a sudden she's off and running, and she leaves the team. And it
Yeah.
was completely across the country because NCIS takes place on the East Coast, and she went to Guantanamo Bay to treat or to teach and take over React team, which is like the naval equivalent of a SWAT team.
Hmm.
So she'd wanted that for such a long, long time. She belonged to React prior to her getting onto the NCIS team,
Hmm.
and they offered it to her, and she left. So the show came back and came back with a bang, and it was kind of they call it empty nest, and basically what you see is everybody's gone except for uh, what used to be Gibbs, which we're going to get to that in a second here. Leroy Jethro Gibbs used to be the boss, and now it's Gary
Hmm.
Cole. But he kind of nobody was there. Some of the characters were off doing other
What about
things.
um, Wilmer Valderrama from that '70s show? Is he still a
He
character on it?
he's still a character on it, but he had
Good.
been off doing he, NCIS version of vice narcotics. Basically, he went undercover
Mm,
and dealing with stuff like drug shipments and bad guys and things like that from that
I see.
perspective. So we went back undercover for a little while
Hmm.
on a gig, and so anyway, the team was broken up basically. So when they came back on season
Hmm.
22, he was left there all by himself, going, "I don't know what I'm doing here because it's just me."
Hmm.
And then pretty soon everybody was pulled back together as a team, and it came back with a bang actually. And I think that it did a really good job of doing it. The only remaining cast member from the original cast from the very beginning.
22
Um,
years ago,
huh?
or 22 years ago.
No, no, no. The only one that's left right now. Yeah, from 22 years
Yeah,
ago. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, from
right.
22 years ago.
Hmm.
He is still McGee. Uh,
Hmm.
he's still there, and they even had him the possibility of leaving. And
Wow.
so I'm not going to spoil anything or anything like that, but it's kind of like, everything was up topsy turvy and upside down. And, Leroy Jethro Gibbs, the icon of the industry, the man from the beginning, left a couple of seasons ago and he retired. And we didn't know what was happening, but now it's back with a bang. And they have an offshoot of it called NCIS Origins, which is
Hmm.
brand new. And
Hmm.
we don't, it was in the making before they canceled NCIS Hawaii, and they canceled NCIS Los Angeles, and they
Okay.
canceled NCIS New Orleans. I think it was
Hmm.
kind of taking the place of NCIS New Orleans
Okay.
because Scott Bakula kind of wanted out of his contract down there, so it was kind of like the end of that. So I think
Hmm.
Origins was supposed to kind of take the place of that, and then somebody
Hmm.
got a hair up his butt at um,
CBS.
CBS and decided to cancel
Shocking.
Hawaii, saying it was too expensive, too expensive, too expensive to shoot in Hawaii. But then they
Mm.
brought up and put up NCIS Sydney, Australia, like it's cheaper to go to all the way to Australia than it is to go to Hawaii. And
Hmm.
I'm sorry, but I tried
We
to give,
tried. We tried. We
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 tried.
watched like 5 or 6 episodes, I think.
Yeah,
I just couldn't. There was one
can't do
really
it.
good episode that I enjoyed out of that, and otherwise, I can't.
It was too, um, they were trying to, they were trying to
I
slip into characters that they felt like you should know us. We're NCIS, or you should just know us when they're
I think we
brand new
talked about this a
characters.
little bit
Yeah, we did,
before. Yeah,
and I'm still a little upset about it. But
I know. We're very
you know,
upset about it.
well, she's brand new to Australia. She's never been there before. They go on a call, and she runs out and jumps in the car like, "Okay, I'm driving." It's like you don't even know where the hell you are, and you're going to
Hmm.
jump in the car and go lights and siren to some place that you don't know how to get to in a country that
Oh,
you've never visited.
oh, and they didn't have guns.
And they didn't carry guns yet because they weren't approved there. Nobody on the team was approved there. So,
It's so silly.
it's just
It's
really
just
kind of,
silly.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they tried that. That was also a pet project of that same guy that had his hair up his butt, a hair up his butt. Um, yeah, I'm being very
Was it a
objective in
guy
my.
or was it a woman? I thought it was a woman.
I would just say the
I don't know.
executive with their hair up their butt.
Hmm.
We'll just put it that way. And I've read this
Well,
in several different articles, by the way.
yeah, yeah.
So anyway, the fact
Is
is
Sydney,
that
are they bringing Sydney back?
yes, Sydney's coming back. And here's the sad part. We talked about this earlier this year when they after they canceled it. We talked about this. The
Mm.
ratings for NCIS Hawaii were like number two
Huge.
on CBS, number two
Yeah.
on CBS,
Hmm.
and they
Hmm.
canceled it. And then you look at the ratings. They did a list of 25 top shows, 25 shows on CBS. NCIS Sydney was number 25, where in
Hmm.
NCIS, Hawaii was number 2.
Yep.
So,
They were treated so, I mean, they really just messed them over.
and they were
I feel
shocked.
so bad for all, yeah, they
Yes,
were all shocked. They
they
couldn't
were
believe
shocked.
it.
They were shocked.
And now I don't even hear anything about any of them coming out and talking or
I
what they're
think
doing or,
they to give them a severance package, they were kind of had to sign a do not talk list. So
um,
they can't come out and blab their
non-disclosure.
mouth and that kind of a thing. So yeah, it kind of sucks. So anyway,
Ugh.
we've only got a few minutes left, so let's talk
Hmm.
about. There's a couple of shows that on Apple Plus and on Hulu that they're back on, and we're ecstatic
Hmm.
that they're back on. We've given
So
reviews on both
excited.
of these as well. Shrinking
Yes.
and Only Murders
Yes.
in the Building, but Shrinking,
Yes.
we know it continues to
Oh,
tug at our heartstrings. It's a unique blend of humor
so
and humor, emotion, mystery, intrigue. It's a little bit of everything.
and it's got Harrison Ford. I mean, come on.
And Jason Segel,
And
not
Jason
Jason
Segel. Segel.
Segel. I was thinking
Yeah. Oh.
Steven Seagal stuck in my head really quick.
Yeah,
Jason
stop that.
Segel,
Jason Segel.
not
Right.
Steven Seagal.
Known from How I Met Your Mother.
Yes, and
Yes.
and uh, Couples Retreat, and
Was he in Couples Retreat? Oh, I guess he
yeah,
was.
he also was in the other one that because he was on a talk show recently where they pitched him when they pitched the show to Harrison Ford, and
Hmm.
they said, "You want to know about him? Watch this show." And oh my gosh, I should know this
Was
before we started this show. It was a
it a
comedy.
movie?
Yeah, it was butt ass naked. Remember, they showed him
Yeah,
full
yeah, yeah,
frontal.
yeah, yeah. I knew that was the one you were talking about, and I cannot think
And,
of what it
and
was
it's where
called.
he lost somebody and he was trying to get her back. And um,
Oh, it's got Mila Kunis in it.
yeah, it's got Mila Kunis in it.
Oh
And
my God.
oh
Is
well,
that the one with is that Mila Kunis and Kristen
I don't know.
Bell?
I'm sorry, everybody. I should have had this in my notes. I'm really sorry,
Oh
but
my
it
gosh.
was it
Yeah.
was a hilarious movie. And Harrison Ford
It's a
watched the
good
movie
movie.
and called him back and said, "Yeah, I'm in."
That's funny. That's
Yeah.
funny. Since he was full frontal nudity in that one. That's funny.
Well, he said, if
Um,
you want to get an idea of what kind of person he is,
yeah.
watch this show. And so he
Well,
watched the show, and there it was.
if you have Apple TV Plus and you are not watching Shrinking, what is wrong with you? I mean,
Yes.
hands
And
down, watch the show.
you would never in your life believe that Harrison Ford has such the comedic
Oh my God.
presence that he does in a
And
series. This
timing.
is his first TV series,
Yeah.
and he pulled it off brilliantly. We
Yeah.
talked about it, earlier this year, but we can talk about it again. He pulled it off brilliantly. He's the
He's
like
great.
fantastic, and they brought
Yeah.
new characters in, new time, new storylines and
Hmm.
things like that. But they've also kind of melded the other storylines through, and yes, it's really really good. You gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. You gotta
Gotta
watch it.
watch it.
It's
One of
only
my
yeah,
favorites.
yeah, you gotta watch it. And it's one of those ones,
Hmm.
unfortunately, that are weekly, so you don't get to stream everything all at once. Apple has that habit of doing that. We got to watch it like a weekly, just like it's been so long now. I forgot what the hell the name of it was.
Morning
Morning
show.
show.
Morning show.
I think it seems like 2 years ago.
I
We've been
know.
waiting for it to come back, so you have to
I
watch
think
it
it's
weekly
coming back the end of this month. I'm pretty sure.
and catch up on Only
Um,
Murders in the Building. You have to
yeah.
catch up on Only Murders in the Building because it's really getting good.
Yes. Yes.
It's one of our returning favorites. It's got Meryl Streep still in it this season, but they've
Mhm.
also got not Jessica Alba. I always confuse these two. People are going,
I
"Why
don't
are
know
we
what
listening to this show when you don't know who the hell you're
I
talking
know.
about?"
Hold on. Eva Longoria.
Eva Longoria and
Yeah.
Eugene Levy and
Eugene. And
Jack
Zach Galifianakis.
Galifianakis.
Zach Galifianakis.
As I said, Zach.
I heard you say Jack, but
No,
okay.
no, Zach Gaff. That's
Gal
why I still let Diane say it.
Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah, let her say it.
Okay.
So yeah, it's got all three. It's got those people in it, and some other ones as well.
Hmm.
Paul Rudd's in
A
it
lot of
again.
people. A lot
In
of
fact, I
people.
didn't even know that character was Paul Rudd.
I know. We'd watch like, I don't know, two or three of them.
And
It's
you
like,
said it was
that's
Paul Rudd. I
Paul
went,
Rudd.
no, it isn't. And it's like, well, I'll be damned, it is.
Yes, it is. Yes.
So yeah. So you got to go back and you got to catch up on Only Murders in the Building, and they just got picked up for a fifth season, by the way.
Yay.
It's got picked up for a fifth
Yay.
season.
That's
So, and
good.
there's so many more that we just don't have time to talk about right now because there are just too many of them. You know,
I just real quick want to go back to shrinking. Brett Goldstein of Ted Lasso fame is I think he's a producer, maybe even a writer on
he,
Shrinking.
he is. He's an executive producer, and so is Bill.
Hmm.
Yeah, Bill Lawrence. Bill Lawrence and he both are executive producers on Shrinking
Yes.
and writers.
And I don't want to give a spoiler. Just if you love Brett Goldstein like I do,
Yeah.
you got to watch Shrinking. That's all
Well,
I'm going to say.
and Bill Lawrence writing. If you loved, you love Ted
Hmm.
Lasso, what you see a crossover. We talked about that when we first reviewed the show. You
Right.
see that crossover in the humor, and the building of the chemistry and the characters and the way that
Yeah.
they are meld together in the storylines. You kind of see
Yeah.
that.
It's
It really
very
plays
Ted
it up.
Lasso-ish.
Yeah. Very Ted
Yeah.
Lasso
Hmm.
Lasso it
Lasso-ish.
ish.
Yeah. So watch
Uh,
it.
Watch it. So
Watch
yeah,
it.
what you guys need to do is just grab a cup of tea, settle in, don't cuddle up, cozy up, put a blanket on, whatever you want to do. Sit yourself down in front of TV and just check this out with a loved one. Check it out by yourself if you have to. It'll inspire you to go find a loved one. Um, you know,
Yeah.
just it's going to be an exciting fall season and exciting for all across the channels. And again, we didn't get to talk about everything. SWAT's coming
Nope.
back for its eighth season. Blue Buds is coming back for its final season. There's a whole slew of stuff that's coming back for final seasons. I think the Lone Star, I think Lone Star 911 Lone Star is going to is in its final season as well. So there's a whole slew of stuff like that to make sure that you know what it is. That so you
Hmm.
get to see at least the finales of these
Yes.
kind of things. Um,
Hmm.
so before we go, Diane, uh, uh, you have your special moment in regard
The
to the
national
special days that I always
Nash,
forget
Nat,
each and every time.
nationaldaycalendar.com is
That's
where I
it.
get this stuff from. Yes. So usually they just have the national day, what is the national day for the day. Now they're doing memorable events on the day and also birthdays, which I think is interesting. Um, there's a lot, so I'm not going to say all of them, but I didn't realize that today is Kamala Harris's birthday. So happy birthday, Kamala Harris.
Happy birthday, Kamala Harris,
Just
soon to
want to say
be
that.
Madam President.
Yes. And it's also Snoop Dogg's birthday. Just saw that. And Tom Petty, may he rest in peace. Um, yeah, it was his birthday today. But memorable events on this day, October 20th. They all have to do with entertainment, which is why I want to mention them. 1774, Continental Continental Congress orders discouragement of entertainment among people. I had no
See,
idea. Discouragement of entertainment among people.
damn, it reminds me. Okay, see, now here's the deal. Since you said that, when you
Hmm.
watch Ghost, you gotta watch Ghost the first season of or first episode of this season. And
Yes,
there's a connection to that in particular.
there is. What, did I miss it?
Patience. Patience.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, I gotcha. I gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is a connection. Yeah. That's
So it's
funny.
ironic. Was patience whispering in your ear?
Yeah. Right? I guess so. Um, okay, and then the other thing, 1947, the House Un-American Activities Committee begins investigating communist infiltration of the Hollywood film industry.
Yeah, that was a bad time in history.
Hmm. Yes, it was. A
Bad
lot
time
of
in
people
history.
got ruined for really no reason. Um, and then the last one, there's a whole list. Hang on. I know it wasn't that far from there. Oh, Harry Belafonte, in 1955, Harry Belafonte records Deo, Deo, daylight come and me
And we
wanna
won't
go
go
home.
home.
The Banana Boat song. And the reason that I want to bring that up is because,
Beetlejuice,
Beetlejuice
Beetlejuice.
is out right now. Which we liked. It wasn't Beetlejuice. It was okay. But it had
Well, I
been
mean,
what,
it's
35 years or
Beetlejuice,
something?
but it wasn't as good as.
No.
We didn't
It
do a
wasn't as
review
good
on
as the
Beetlejuice,
first.
Beetlejuice. They probably should have done a review
No.
on Beetlejuice.
It's okay. I mean, I think, if you're a big Beetlejuice fan like we are, it's worth trying it. Um
It's got some good parts. It's got some, but
yeah, it has some good parts.
yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, Deo, Deo. I love that song. And that's my favorite scene in Beetlejuice. The
Well, I
dining
think
room
it's a
scene.
lot of people's favorite scene. It's an iconic scene.
Love it. So, and then one of the national day today is, I love this stuff. Chicken and waffles day, man. Oh, I love some chicken and waffles right now.
Never had the
Mm.
pleasure.
Oh,
Never had
so
the pleasure.
so good. So I do have some mini pancakes in the freezer, maybe, and some chicken, and leftover chicken. Oh, maybe I'll have me some mini pancakes and chicken
There you go.
for
There's
chicken
your
and
own
waffles
version of
day.
chicken and waffles.
That's right.
Well,
And they said on there you can make your own version. So
we are out
that's
of
fun.
time. I wish we could talk for a while
Yes.
longer, but we can't. So, one more thing before you all go. Remember, there's always one more thing that you can do to be nice, be kind, have fun, say what you need to say, and do what you like to do. So, everybody out there, one more thing before you all go. Have a great day. Have a great week. And thanks for listening and viewing
Bye.
and watching and subscribe.
Thanks for listening to this episode of One More Thing Before You Go. Check out our website at beforeyougopodcast.com. You can find us as well as subscribe to the program and rate us on your favorite podcast listening platform.